What's going on, y'all? I'm Czar, and in this video, I'm going to give you my top 10 plugins in the Waves Platinum Bundle. This bundle was recently on sale for just $99, making it the lowest price that Waves has ever offered it at. And if you didn't pick it up for $99 and you still want to check it out, don't worry, I've got a link in the description that'll save you 10% on any Waves purchase. So I feel like a lot of people picked this up over the last few days, so in this video I want to talk about the Platinum Bundle, go over the plugins that's in it. I'll just do a quick overview of what I use and what I don't use, and then I'll give you my top 10 out of this bundle. Let's get started. So the Platinum Bundle comes with a total of 60 plugins, and we'll quickly go through these. I'll show you what I use and maybe comment on a few of these. So starting from the top, we got Audio Track, which is probably one of my least used Waves plugins. This is a channel strip, nothing really exciting about it, but I think we have some other channel strips in this bundle, but let's keep moving. C1 compressor, another one that's not really exciting, just a standard compressor. I mean, I feel like this is Waves' version of just a stock compressor. C4 multiband compressor. It's gonna be pretty cool if you need a multiband compressor. I would definitely reach for this over maybe some stock multiband compressors. De-esser, this one's okay. We'll get to a better de-esser in this bundle in my opinion later. Doppler, this would be good for if you're doing sound design. Doubler, use this every now and then, but not really. Eddie Kramer jump, I've never used this. Electric Grand 80, this is a really nice grand piano here, virtual instrument that comes in this bundle, and I believe it's the only virtual instrument that comes in this bundle. Emo F2 filter, don't use it. Emo generator, don't use it. Emo Q4 equalizer, don't use it. What's not included in here is the Emo that I do use, which is that D5 Dynamics. I do like that. Enigma, it's another one that's going to be good for like sound design. Greg Wales Tone Centric. This is really nice to add some thickness and saturation with a simple one knob control. These Guitar 3 amps, I don't use any of those. H-Comp, I love on drums, sometimes on vocals as well. H-Delay, I use that all the time. Convolution Reverb, I don't know if I have this one, but most DAWs come with the convolution reverb. I know Studio One does for sure, as well as Logic. Not sure if Pro Tools comes with one. I've got the L1, L2, L3 Ultra Maximizers. L1 and L2 I use the most, mostly more so L2. I don't know if I have these L3s. Linear Phase EQ, I have this one, don't really use it. Linear Phase Multiband Compressor, again, I have it, but don't really use it. Low Air, I just recently got this one. I haven't even used it yet. Max Bass, I don't think I have this one. Max Volume, that's good. I use that for podcast editing, when I'm editing vocals for podcasts. Meta Filter is cool to add some effects. Flanger, don't use it. Mondo Mod, don't use it. MV2, this is good for podcast vocals as well, and really this MV2 is like a light version of Max Volume. One Knob Driver, I use that a lot just to add some distortion to some tracks. One Knob Pumper, don't use that one. I wish the One Knob Wetter was in here. That's the one I use the most from the One Knob series. PAZ Analyzer, don't use it, but this is a cool one. I just have other metering plugins that I use, analyzer plugins that I use. Stereo Maker, don't use it. Puig Tech, really good Pultec emulation here, one of the better ones in my opinion. Q10, have it, don't use it. Renaissance Axe, all of this Renaissance stuff I'm about to mention is really good. Renaissance Axe is really good on bass. Renaissance Bass is really good for adding that sub bass and low end to your tracks. Renaissance Channel, nice channel strip. Renaissance Compressor, very good, just standard general compressor. I would reach for this Renaissance compressor over this C1 compressor. And Renaissance de-esser, I would reach for that over that standard de-esser we saw at the top. Renaissance EQ, this is still one I use a lot. This is just a standard. This comes in a 2-band, 4-band, and 6-band configuration. Really good standard parametric EQ. Renaissance Reverb is nice as well. Renaissance Vox, aka RVox, really popular. Vocal compressor, very easy to use. All you really have to do is pull down the threshold. S1 Stereo Imager, I use this one to add some stereo width to some tracks. Sibilance is an incredible de-esser. It's the newest de-esser that Waves has, and it's really, really easy to use. Smack Attack is my favorite transient designer. I use that all the time. Submarine, that's for adding sub bass and low end, similar to what our bass would do, but you've got more options here with Submarine. I use it sometimes. Super Tap can be cool, but I don't really use it. True Verb, don't really use it. Ultra Pitch, don't really use it. VComp, I like this on rap vocals. I use that. VEQ3 and VEQ4 I used to use, but since I got the Shep 73, I don't use these anymore, but these are very nice Neve style EQs. Vitamin Sonic Enhancer, this is a multi-band harmonic saturation plugin that's really nice. VU Meter, this is self-explanatory. And Waves Tune LT, I don't think I have this one, but I've got Real-Time Tune is what I use. I really haven't paid attention to this one. All right, so that's a quick look at the 60 plugins that's in the Platinum Bundle. Let's jump in Studio One and I'll give you my top 10 here. All right, so these top 10 are in no particular order. This is an artist named Ayana Janae. We're going to start off with the track though. So the first one in the top 10 is going to be the Smack Attack. This is my go-to transient shaper, and we're going to use it just to add some more attack to this track.
My man Zar make tracks like this.
All right, quick example of that. This is another one that's really easy to dial in. I use this a lot on my kicks. Second one is the H-Comp. This is good as a bus compressor. I also like to use it on drums a lot. We're doing probably about 3 dB of compression here with it.
My man Zar make tracks like this.
All right, so with the H-Comp, you've got this analog knob that goes through like 4 different analog modeling. Adds a little bit of different saturation and harmonic distortion and color. You've got a nice feature here that you can set the release to the BPM of the session, which is if you hit host, it'll sync to the BPM of the session, and then with BPM you can set your own, and then MS is just milliseconds. Other than that, we got standard features on this compressor. We also have a limiter up here in the upper right that you can engage. All right, third one is R-Bass. So this is just a simple to use bass enhancer plugin, and it's one that's been a really, really popular one for Waves. Let's check it out.
My man Zar make tracks like this.
All right, so you should have heard that bass lift and just become more in your face, and all you have to do is just bring this up to add more intensity with the bass. Or if you get too much bass, you can bring it down. You can also bring in and out the original bass sound as well and adjust where the frequency is down here. Very easy to use, as all of the Renaissance plugins are. All right, that's the first 3. Let's bring in the vocals now, and we're going to go over. Let's pull up this studio rack, and the next one we have is Sibilance. This is, if you notice, just the UI looks similar to Smack Attack, but this is a de-esser. Very easy to use de-esser because you do not have to choose the frequency. This de-esser is going to do that for you. So let me bypass some of these and bypass Sibilance as well. and take a listen.
Catch me on the highway lately. I've been on the move. Catch you on the flip side, baby. I got shit to do.
All right, so you heard we had that strong S there. I think it was here.
I got shit.
No, here.
Catch you on the flip side, baby.
All right, so we're going to take care of that with sibilance. You see, no frequency here is going to do it for you automatically. And most times, all you have to do is pull down this threshold until you get the level of gain reduction that you want, and then you're good. Though we do have detection, and we can switch between a wide or split mode or go anywhere in between. And we can also adjust the range of how much gain reduction we want to happen as well. But this is just the default settings. All I did here was just pull down the threshold. I think the default threshold is like -12 dB. I pulled it down, and now let's take a listen.
Catch you on the flip side, baby.
And without it.
Catch you on the flip side, baby.
And one more time with it.
Catch you on the flip side, baby.
All right, so does a great job of taking care of that S. Let's move to the next one, which is the Renaissance EQ. Very easy to use EQ, and I've cut a little bit of low mids and boosted just a touch of highs at 8K here. Let's bring that in.
Catch you on the flip side, baby. I got shit to do. Blinders don't laser focus. Don't care what's in my rear view.
All right, next one down is Arcom. Let's bring that in. So this is the one I said that I would use over that C1 compressor, and I feel most people would using this bundle. A really nice thing about this compressor, you can switch between electro, which is going to be faster, and an opto, which is going to be slower. For vocals, I like the opto. Let's take a listen to this. This is with it in opto, and just watch the gain reduction. You can see how fast it's happening versus the electro and opto. And you also have warm and smooth. And warm is going to give you just a little bit more character. Really subtle, but you'll really notice the difference between the opto and electro here. So this is opto.
Catch me on the highway lately. I've been on the move.
And electro.
Catch me on the highway lately. I've been on the move.
So you can see how much faster electro is reacting. All right, next we've got Waves Vitamin. This is a multi-band saturation plugin. So the way this works, these faders, these are representing different bands, and you just pull these up to add your harmonic saturation in those bands, and you can adjust those crossovers here. For example, this band is going from 90 hertz up to 500, and we can adjust those bands with those frequencies there. All right, let's bring this in and take a listen. And the way I've got this, I'm pushing some of the high mids and highs, so you're going to hear it get brighter.
Catch me on the highway lately. I've been on the move. Catch you on the flip side, baby. I got shit to do. Blinders don't laser focus. Don't care what's in my rear view. Because I don't plan to lose.
All right, so I like this one on vocals, synths, also across the whole mix. I use it when mastering sometimes as well. Really useful there. 'Cause most saturation plugins, you're just adding saturation to everything. With this, you can choose what bands and like really where you want to focus that saturation at, which makes that one really nice. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 3 more. So on these, I'm going to call it background vocals, but this second vocal track here, I've got another Studio Rack instance. We've got sibilance again, but we've got 2 more plugins this time. We've got the V-Comp, which is I said I like this on vocals, also easy to dial in. You just adjust your input and output. Input, just like a 1176, is going to determine how much signal is going to feed into the compressor. You've got a limiter here that I've got turned off. And then we also have a de-esser that's turned off as well. So right here we're using a 3-to-1 ratio on the compressor, and we've got a 400 millisecond release, which is the fastest it goes, but it's really not too fast at 400 milliseconds really. We've got On the limiter, we can select fast or slow for the attack, and then we have different release settings there. But for this, as far as compression, we're just going to turn that compression on, adjust the input and output, and get what we want here.
Catch me on the highway lately. I've been on the move. Catch you on the flip side, baby. I got shit to do. Laser focus. Don't care what's in my review.
And without it.
I've been on the move. I got shit to do. Laser focus.
So V-Comp can really bring vocals forward, and it's one of the reasons I really like it. All right, I've got the Puig Tech, Pultec, and this is probably one of 3 other Pultec plugins that I go to a lot. What we're doing here is we're boosting 8K. Thought I had some of the bandwidth up here. Quick tutorial on Pultec EQs, because this is a very strange EQ. You've got low frequency and high frequencies. Not the most versatile EQ, but it's really nice for boosting things. Low frequency, you've got 20 hertz, 30 hertz, 60 hertz, and 100 hertz. You can boost it and you can cut it, and you can boost and cut at the same time. This boost and cut goes for this knob for these frequencies. And then this boost and this bandwidth goes for the high frequency. And then this cut goes for these 3 frequencies here. So yeah, it's really a weird EQ, but once you get the hang of it, you will likely love it, especially boosting high end as well as low end on drums with this EQ. All right, I think we have one more, and you've probably heard it as I've been playing this vocal. Pull up this last studio rack, and it is H delay. This is one I love on vocals mostly. It's definitely a go-to for me in every mix because I can just dial it in really quickly. You can tap this to set your delay time. We've got a lo-fi knob or button that you can push in here. We have options for depth and modulation, and we can add ping pong as well as with the H-Comp as well. You know, we can hit this BPM and set the BPM to the delay, or we can hit host and it'll sync to the session. I'm sorry, the BPM, you can select your own BPM, but more often than not, you're just going to want to hit host, which will sync the delay to your session's tempo. Other than that, we've got milliseconds there as well. Standard feedback, high pass, low pass. Just like the H-Comp, we've got different analog modeling, 4 different ones here, as well as off. And other than that, I mean, it's a standard delay controls there. All right, so there's my top 10 plugins in the Waves Platinum Bundle. Definitely comment and let me know what are some of your favorite plugins in this bundle. And if you haven't picked this up, I will have a link in the description where you can save 10% on this plugin and more from Waves. All right, if you enjoyed this video, I appreciate a thumbs up. And if you want to continue to see content from me, then you know what to do. Any questions, comments, let me know, and I'll catch y'all next time.